I get loads of questions from people who are just starting out learning how to play the piano, and something I notice is that the same questions tend to crop up time and time again. So what I'm going to try to do today is answer what I think are the top 5 questions that I get from beginner piano players here on YouTube. Question number 1, do I need a piano? Now the surprising answer to that is no, not necessarily, at least not to start with. If all you've got for now is a small keyboard, then that's absolutely fine. You can use that to begin making progress. I even know people who have started out and gone on to do great things by drawing a piano keyboard on a piece of paper and putting it on a tabletop. Anything that you've got that you can use to practice the physical skills of playing is going to be useful. Now ideally, before very long, you will get access to a full-size piano. There are various ways you can do that. You can buy them really cheaply these days, especially if you go second-hand. Even if you haven't got that money, there are lots of pianos out there in the world, okay? Check out your local school or college or community hall and ask them if they will let you practice on their piano, even if it's just for 1 or 2 days a week to start with. Question 2 is, how long will it take me to learn how to play the piano? Now this is quite a tricky one. The short and simple answer is, if you practice effectively, you should be able to play some cool stuff within a few months, and you should have a good basic level of competence within a year or 2. If you want a bit of a yardstick, then my beginner's course here on YouTube is 20 lessons long, and I think it takes most people about a year to complete it. Now that leads us on to question 3. How much practice do I need to do? Well, the short answer is probably not as much as you think, and that's because the raw amount of practice you do is much less important than how often you practice and how effectively you practice. Practicing often is super important, and that's because of what we call the spacing effect. I usually say something like do 20 minutes a day, 6 or 7 days a week. And if you can't manage that, try something like 15 minutes a day, 6 or 7 days a week. And it's the 6 or 7 days a week thing that's important, okay? And then there's the quality of practice. Now, when you're learning any new skill, you have to constantly challenge yourself, because if you don't challenge yourself, then your body and your brain won't upgrade themselves to meet the new demands you're placing on them. It's a little bit like going to the gym. If you go to the gym and you want bigger muscles, you're not going to do that by lifting really light weights. Instead, you've got to lift a weight that's heavy enough to challenge you. So what you've got to do when you're practicing the piano is kind of keep yourself in a sweet spot. It needs to be challenging, but also achievable. Now all of that is kind of related to question 4. Help, I'm stuck, I'm not making any progress, what am I doing wrong? Now the chances are you're not doing anything wrong, because the first thing you need to remember here is that progress in any difficult skill like playing the piano is never completely linear. It kind of proceeds in fits and starts. However, if you're going a long time and not making any progress, that's when you need to go back and look at your practice again. Are you practicing often enough? Are you practicing in the sweet spot? Is it too challenging for you? If it is, ease off a little bit. Are you doing stuff that isn't challenging enough? Are you actually practicing, or are you just messing around? Okay, constantly trying to challenge yourself, but with stuff that you can actually achieve. Finally, question 5, am I too old to start learning the piano? People ask me that all the time, and the answer is you can start learning the piano whenever you want, whether you're 8 years old or 80 years old. Now, age does make some difference. As we get older, our brains become less plastic. We don't make new connections quite as quickly as we did when we were young, but we can still keep learning. The really important thing that people forget is that although the kids do have an advantage in speed of learning, adults have a big advantage when it comes to maturity. So if you are a little bit older, don't worry about it. Make the most of the advantages you have, the maturity you have, and don't worry about something that fundamentally you can't control, your age. Okay, so that's it. If you found those answers useful, don't forget to give this video a like, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're not subscribed already, because I've got hundreds of tutorials for piano players of all abilities. I've also got various books and piano packs that you might be interested in. You'll find details of those in the description text underneath this video and in the little YouTube cards in the top right hand corner of the screen. Happy practicing, happy piano playing, and I'll see you next time.